How do I plan to achieve my retirement? Each and every one of us wants to retire as soon as possible. In fact, the present generation wishes to retire much sooner than the previous generation. But the fact remains the same, is that it is much more difficult to retire now when compared to our previous generation. The cost and standard of living are rising and are high enough that it will take one's entire life earnings to build a 3-story house in a major metropolitan city. It's too damn costly to live. So in this video, I'll explain a practical approach to retiring early. These are not my plans, but they are some of the lessons I have taken into account from various retirees I have read and gained knowledge from. These are some of the strategies used by individuals whom I have inquired with and who are well settled and enjoying their retirement life. Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Pai, and in this video I'll talk about how do I plan to achieve my retirement. Let's begin. First of all, know this fact. Retirement is not easy. It is not as achievable as you think it is. In fact, it will take at least a minimum of 25 years to build a proper corpus for retirement. This is in general, of course. Basically, if your standard of living is that of a minimalist, then you are very well on your way to retirement within 10 years. Or if you have multiple sources of income and are well aware of financial instruments and investing, you can probably retire in 15 to 20 years. Your retirement is your responsibility. How you retire, with how much savings, with what tenure, etc. is all up for you to decide. So with that said, what are the lessons from which we can retire? Here are those. Number 1, avoid debt. Debt is an asset to those who know it as an asset. Trust me, most Indians' debt is personal debt. They are mainly used for consumption. For example, home loans, vehicle loans, travel, education, etc. Either avoid these debts at all cost, or if you are already in such debt, then pay them off. Forget about investing. Your main goal now is to repay the debt and become debt free. Check out this article on how to become debt free. Link in the description. Why become debt free? Because this debt will cost you more than any safe investment returns could ever provide. So it is suggested that you become debt free as soon as possible. So first step is no shoki, live like a yogi until your debt is settled. Number 2, retirement. Now you may be wondering why I am talking about retirement in step 2. Listen carefully. Your retirement is your responsibility. Your retirement cost is based on your standard of living. Your standard of living are based on your incomes. So your retirement investment must be directly proportional to your income. Here the retirement investment strategy is simple. Whatever your income be, whatever you make in a month, set aside at least 10% of it as if it were not yours at all. Out of that 10%, invest 7% in NPS. NPS investments are locked in for 60 years and set aside the balance 3% in PPF. This is locked for 15 years. That's it. That's all you need to do towards your retirement. Sir Warren Buffett says, and I quote, "Do not save what is left after spending, instead spend what is left after saving." Once you set aside 10% of your income towards retirement, your next step is to live as frugal as possible. I'm not asking you to do jugaad in everything, but think of it this way. 1 gram of silver would cost you somewhere around 60 rupees. So every time I spend, let's say for example, spend on biryani, which is 300 rupees per plate, I'll think that this could buy me 5 grams of silver. It's just a thought, kuch nahi karne ka, just think of what I'm buying, what else I could have bought from that. With that, spend as little as possible. Let's continue with our next step. Number 3, budgeting. There's this quote that says, "He who fails to plan is planning to fail." Budgeting is nothing but planning your finances. Every month, as soon as the salary is credited to your account, invest 10% of your income in retirement accounts, then sit down and budget your finances. Here you must answer the following questions. Do I have emergency funds? What were my income and expenses for the last month? Where could I save more? And what other income source can I access? What was my previous month's largest expenditure? Etc. Check out this article on budgeting. Link in the description. Number 4, housing. Did you know over 50% of Indian household debt is in housing? We all know that owning a house provides security, prestige, and more importantly, it's a norm. We Indians want to own a home. We just want it. Everyone wants to own home, including myself. I even dream of owning a house and I wish to have a food forest in my backyard. And then there is a debate on renting versus owning. I made a detailed video on this topic. Of course, from a pure financial perspective, renting is far better than owning. Watch this video to learn more. But it's not that simple, is it? Basically, at the end of the day, the debate is not about owning versus renting, but rather on what suits us better. The timing of the real estate market and the locality, etc. Man or a woman, in your life, the two biggest life decisions you make are number 1, whom you marry, and number 2, where you buy your property and how much debt you incur when you own the house. Make mistakes in these two decisions and I'm sorry to say, but you'll have to deal with a lot of headaches. So be cautious. Do not hurry. Take suggestions from real estate veterans and have patience when it comes to owning a home. Also, just remember, no matter what the asset is, if it's a consumable personal asset, financially speaking, renting is always better than owning it. Number 5, invest. Inflation will not wait for anybody. No matter who sits at the helm of government, no matter who is the PM, the RBI governor is, nothing matter because nobody can reduce inflation of your home currency to nil. On average, you can expect 4 to 6% of inflation every year. Basically, in one generation, that is in 30 years, at 5% inflation, you will need at least 4 times your current worth to maintain the same standard of living. Let's take an example. To buy a bar of Dairy Milk chocolate worth 100 rupees, you'll have to spend 100 rupees. In 30 years, the price of chocolate, milk and all other ingredients will definitely rise, right? So at a 5% average inflation hike in price, to buy the same quantity and quality of dairy milk, which was worth 100 rupees, in 30 years, you'll have to spend 430 rupees. I hope that makes sense. So there is no getting around the term inflation. It will happen no matter what, but what we can do is invest and try to earn at least 2 to 3 points over the running inflation rate. This way we have a better chance of tackling inflation and its ill effects on our savings. To know more about investing, follow our channel. I have prepared a separate playlist for investors. Check out the videos, link in the description. And if you do not wish to invest on your own, if you want help and suggestions, look no further, invest via ET Money Genius. Want to know what ET Money Genius is all about? Let's hear. Making money in the stock market isn't easy, right? That's when I realized that in order to earn better returns, instead of running behind top mutual fund, why not try ET Money Genius? ET Money Genius will understand your risk profile and suggest various mutual funds where you can invest. For instance, you can invest in a mix of index funds of large, mid-sized and even small cap companies. Why not try international equity and even debt instruments and gold funds are offered. Basically, you get a very well diversified portfolio. Not only that, ET Money Genius will also make timely adjustments to your portfolio such that your portfolio returns are not affected by changes in the market. So what are the expected returns? Well, if you had invested as per ET Money Genius high growth mutual fund strategy for any 7 years in the last 15 years, you would have earned 16.1 CAGR returns. The way it ends here, because with no additional work, you can earn a wonderful return just by subscribing to ET Money Genius membership. Check the link in the description. Hope that was informative. Thank you for watching.